I am not going to recording about Jerusalem now. It will come a little later uh, in another day. Today I needed to recording because uh, those in heaven, they were on me in when I was on my way to go to bed, and I said that to them, if they let me could sleep the whole night, I am going to recording about what you were telling me in the morning, in the daylight. I told them that, and I were sleeping very nicely this night, so they let me sleep. But it was yesterday I got a little more knowledge about knowledge I have got, but a little more about heaven. And it was this I have told you sometimes I have told you about when my mother come forward. Uh, it was just uh, uh, 1999 or 2000. My mother come through. It was before the higher priest and God come. But she come in the night, and I was up to heaven and met her, and she was talking to me about this, that there is you on earth, she say. You think there is only one God, but we are many. And in that way, she was telling me, it was not that, it was like there were smaller God in heaven. It's not only God in heaven, and that affect our world, our planet. I have understood that today, but I didn't know what she was talking about. But she said that you on earth think there is only one God, but we are many, and that doesn't mean that those many is like God, but they can affect us here on earth. So we do things that is in their interest. So some people are chosen by them to do what they want you to do. So they are small gods in that way, that they can affect you. But there is only one God, and then there is groups of messengers, and a different way to target our planet in, to affect things that happen here on this planet. And it's the same thing with the darkness, the world in the darkness. They affect us also. So it's like a war going on, a spirit war going on, that we can see it in action, but we don't know where it's coming and where it's going, and who is going to be target for these forces, good and evil forces. So that they wanted to tell me this yesterday about the effect that comes from heaven and also from hell. And I now when I'm recording, I don't remember what it was. The new knowledge I got. Now someone reminded me, and someone have touched me now. So, it's my whole head, and now someone have touched me very much. So maybe we will see who touched me later on when it's come more clear. But it was this that when my mother was talking to me in that time, and it was like I was in a hospital, but I knew it was in heaven. It was because it was this oak wood doors. It was like oak tree, not a really door. It was an opening in it, but it was that split, the long hall in that hospital. And my mother was standing in the middle of it. So that's, I have not thinking about it before, but now I understand it more, because she was there in the opening, and that's what she was talking about, that she was, that's where the spirits of people coming from this planet to heaven, and she is one of them that tell in what room they should be. And now this spirit that have touched me now, I get more knowledge from it, because I have not thinking about that. It was many doors opening in that hall, the long way to walk in, and it was very white, almost like glass on the floor. And then it was many rooms that was opening. And now I understand that's what it say in the Bible, that there is many mansions, many places where you can go in heaven. So that's, now I understand it more today, that that was showing heaven, that those doors, it was not doors, it was openings into rooms. And then my grandmother, my mother's mother, she come suddenly. She come like, it was like a cloud, and suddenly there come a woman. But I didn't see her, but I knew in my heart it was my grandmother. And she looked into one room, and that room was computers. And she died 1964, and we didn't have any computers in Sweden in that time. So she was going into my mother's time, and I have not understood what was going on. But now, when this spirit touched me, I get more understanding of what they wanted to show me before the higher priest and God come and talk to me. And that what they were telling yesterday, a new knowledge for me, that this I have said that recently in those new episodes. I have said that it was like in the night when they were coming and wanted to talk to me. It was like a fight, but it was like a war, I say, but it was not really like a war. But it was some very disturbing in it, and I understood it yesterday, because the spirits are in different times when they're coming into heaven, and they are in different dimensions. That I understand yesterday. So that's why is this who they try to enter into the same dimension to talk to me. And that's where it's be like, why are you coming in here like that when they coming from another dimension to could come close to me and talk. That's why it start to be this. It have been more and more crowded. It's very, very much spirits in my home now, and they are coming from different dimensions. People ask sometimes, how can heaven have so much people? Because people have died in many generations. But it is not like that. The dimensions are shelves, like shelves. So you have one shelf with those books, and then next is another sort of books like that. So there is dimensions like a bookshelf, that they are not on the same level when it's dimensions. It depends when they coming into heaven and they get their those rooms to be in, and in some way I attract my grandmother to come and could come into my mother's dimension. And my mother she died 1990. So I had computers. I had my first computer in 1978. So I'm sure that I had showing my mother computers, because they were not so big. So I maybe had show her that, and she at least she knew about computers before she died. And but my grandmother, she died 1964, and there were no computers So she, in some way, she come into my mother's time, in that time frame. There, that is the dimension where my mother was, but my grandmother was in another dimension before my mother. So that's how they can bring in so much people, because they are not on the same level in heaven. So they maybe not will meet each other in that way, that they are walking around in heaven and meet each other. They have to come through that dimension to come in and be together with our people. But in heaven there is not it's not like family that we have on this planet. It's a romantic fairy tale that is created to think that we have the same family in heaven like we had on this planet when we lived. And they have make up a story about it, how we can be together with our loved ones. That is in human nature to think like that we only have one family, and that is a family, most of it is born from the same womb, and that is a lie. That is a lie that make a border to lock us into that thinking, because in heaven we are all one family. It's not, this is my husband, this is my wife, this is my children. It's not like that in heaven, because we all are the same in heaven. All that could come into heaven, not all will come into heaven, and we can't pick them up in that way, that we are in heaven, and then we could take those family members that was not good here on earth and are like in hell, that we can go into hell and grab them and take them with us to heaven. That's what you have to think about. What these people that have done very bad things, that we could help them after we have died to go into hell from heaven, and go into hell and grab them to place them in heaven. And that's how I could help my parents, because I was not in heaven when they told me in heaven about if I forget my father for what he had done, and it was so much love in my home when the higher priest come, and then later God come and talk to me. So I could only say that I forgive them for what they have done. But if I had been inside heaven, I should never have could done that. I needed to be alive on this planet for to say that I forgive them. And that's, you can't, when you hear this, you can't say, I can take it later. I can do that in heaven. I can forgive them. I can go and take them out from the prison in hell like that. Your time is now and not later on. And that what they're showing me this, that I couldn't forgive them when I am by myself in heaven, because there I know I have another family in heaven, people that I have lived with before that waiting for me, not as a family, that I told you, because we all are a family in heaven. At least because we are in different rooms in heaven. So I am almost sure, but I can never be sure 100%, but almost that I will come back to the throne room of God, the Almighty God, the only one there is, that the God that have not had any body. It's a spirit. The real God is a spirit and not a human. I have never been a human, but he can place himself in our body to talk to us, for us to do what he wants us to do. That he can do temporary, be inside us, but he is not inside us. He's a spirit, so he flying around in the spirit way to do it. And so of course we can call for God and ask to help and these things, but it's temporary things. It's heaven that those that is belonging to us in heaven that can help us, that can be with us the whole time. And there is different. It's a ancestors that is in heaven that is strong. But the more they are, the closer they are to heaven, the stronger are they. And the closer they come to earth, the weaker they are, because they enter into a body that can be killed. So it's different. It's different levels in heaven. It's not that in heaven they are not proud. To those that is closest to God, they are not proud to be there. Everyone that working for the good, for to make heaven to come down to earth, they are doing that because they love God and not for themselves. So it doesn't matter what level they are in. They are not proud. They are happy to help God. And those that is on the meadow, they don't know anything. They are playing and have fun, and they are okay in that place where they are. But those that is coming into the city in heaven, they have other things to do, and they have not finished their work on earth, but they work to earth in another way than what we do here. They are very happy to help God to target our planet, to make us be more in heaven and do good things for everyone. That's what they have told me, and I'm very sure that they will tell me more about heaven. But this is what they told me yesterday, that it's like laying, it's a layer in heaven, so not all spirits are in the same place. It'd be very crowded in heaven if it's like that. And they have told me also that they can travel without to have any vehicle. They have told me that they are only thinking about a place, and then they are there. That we have not developed that, but we will one day could develop it, because we are going to be spirit human. We are not going to be in our limit body. We are spirits in heaven. So that's why we can't have any children in our body like here on earth. We are not human in heaven. We are spirits in heaven. So I will see when I recording from about Israel. It's more to talk about when it's about Israel. But I see that that on the statistic, people don't want to hear something bad about Israel. But I work for the truth. So what God wants me to see, I tell you what God have wanted me to see and hear in Israel. So thank you for listening, and God bless you.